Alright, back at it with episode 3.
I don't understand. I spoke to him only recently.
Monsieur Peru has lost his mind. It's obvious.
Yet another way for the French to make a spectacle of themselves. Well, once again it has worked.
My friends, let us settle down, please. We are all in shock, of course. Let us celebrate Louis's courage. He enabled us to avert a tragedy.
Yes, that was very noble of you, Louis.
You have given us all a fine lesson in courage.
Thank you.
He owes you his life. That's quite something.
That madman deserves to die.
We are providing Monsieur Peru with care, but rest assured, he is no longer a danger to himself or anyone else. I think everyone needs a little rest. Can you stay a moment?
Of course.
Alright, well, I only got 3 books left. Need more books. Because I don't have all the pages for those, so. Okay, here we go.
Louis, I wanted to thank you personally. I admire what you did to save Monsieur Peru's life. You have given us all a wonderful lesson in courage.
Don't mention it, my lord. You would have done the same. I was just quicker.
Ah, humility is a fine quality, sir.
Where is he now?
In his room. I've sedated him. I don't want him trying to take his life again. Or, worse yet, attacking one of the guests. When in despair, Monsieur Peru is clearly a dangerous man.
Tell me, my lord, can you think of any reason why he would be so terrified of you?
Terrified? Come now, that's a bit harsh. I think he was simply unable to put things into perspective.
No,
I see
he
no reason to
clearly
fear
terrified.
me. Ask President Washington. I don't believe I'm such a difficult friend.
Having spoken to him, I can assure you that he feared you even more than death itself. Had he disappointed you in any way recently?
Of course, he was on the edge. He was desperate, and it grew noticeable in his work. Our collaboration was probably coming to an end, but I certainly didn't feel the need to threaten him, ever.
But without you, no more support, no more money. It was an end to his social status. If you lost, he lost everything, didn't he?
No, not his life.
Thanks to me, I guess. On that note, my lord, I'll be leaving you. Have we covered everything?
Absolutely. Oh, Louis, one more thing, please. What a pity you didn't support me during the conference. I hope I can count on you on the day of the vote. This major project needs men like you, Louis.
And you never know, right? Maybe by then, I'll see things differently.
Well, thank you for allowing me to believe in that possibility, Louis. From here on, I shall make it my mission to persuade you to change your vote.
Be my guest. But I hope your arguments are very, very persuasive, because I'm not the only one who isn't on your side.
Oh, rest assured, I am working on it.
Very well. I'll see you later, my lord.
All right. Stop running. Let's check this area some more for some jelly or some shit. I restock all my vitals. Go back to your room. I don't want to go back to my room.
Mentioned it yesterday. Either to you or to someone else. Impossible to tell with you people.
Yes, sir.
Your yes is not sufficient. Tell the others, for crying out loud. Remember to close my window once you've done my room. This isn't Corsica,
Monsieur
you know.
Bonaparte.
I'm freezing. Sorry, Dorishi. I have no time for traitors such as yourself.
I beg your pardon?
If you are here, it's because Lord Mortimer agreed to include you. And what's the first thing that you do? You betray him by following Sir Gregory and bending over backwards to turn Washington against him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was free to vote as I pleased. I didn't realize I had to vote for Lord Mortimer in order to show my gratitude toward him. Hey, he invited me here to come and look for my missing mother during his high society party. I'm sorry, truly sorry. I don't know all your customs yet.
It's just common decency that when invited to a man's castle, you don't go and to pee on his boots. Is it too much to ask?
I guess it is.
Well, alright then. You don't go and pee on his boots. I can't say I've heard that one before. Only
Sorry, sir, but you cannot go through. We have very clear instructions from Lord Mortimer. Monsieur Pt.2 must rest.
which means he's probably going to be the next to die.
No answer. Nothing. Emily? Emily, are you there? Emily!
Yes. Louis, is that you?
Yes, let me in.
I'm sorry, Louis. I don't feel very well. I'll see you later.
Are you sure everything's all right? Are you still there? Emily? Emily, are you there? Emily!
Yes. Louis, is that you?
Yes, let me in.
Okay, so
I'm
it's just going to
sorry,
be a
Louis.
repeat.
I don't feel very well. I'll see you later.
Are you sure everything's all right? Are you still there?
Clearly she's not. Everything's not alright. Oh, she's got another man in there. Fucking. Didn't that just break your little heart? You thought she was doing it out of the goodness of your heart? Please. Penetrate her armor, my ass. Look, I just need you to give a little sucky sucky. Am I going the right way? I don't even know. Yeah, there I am.
Next time, I'll listen to my mother. Not a day has gone by without something happening to me. What now?
Louis, open up, please.
Coming, Mr. President, I'm coming!
Louis. Ah, there you are at last.
Yes,
I just saw your mother. She was accompanied by Emily, and they both went into the Duchess's room. I tried to join them, but I was refused entry. Louis, this does not bode well.
Oh, shit. Emily might want to avenge her sister. I must act quickly. You're right, Mr. President. Thank you.
That would explain why she didn't want me in her room.
I do believe that's Emily's voice. I can't understand what she's saying. can't open it. It must be blocked on the other side. I'll have to find another way in, quick. Emily! Emily, are you there? Answer me. Emily!
Alright, so I have to get in another way. I don't know how to get in. I can't go that way. How do I up getting into Emily's room? Probably go through. Find another door on her side. Go through the garden. Not the garden, but the. What should we call it? What is this? Sorry, Napoleon.
I have to get inside Emily's room through the... Shit! It's locked. No way. It's too sturdy.
Huh. That would be right here, should be. Well, unless I got stuff. Before I go busting in there, let me search. Search the corridor. There might be something out here I can use. I was very mistaken.
How could you do that to me?
It's as if there are several people inside.
Once again, you're the one who's the victim in all this.
What
A letter
are you
from
on about
William
now?
the
I
Younger,
should never have told you
addressed
what
to
happened to
Emily.
me.
He's the present Prime Minister of...
What on earth is... You... Mother?
How dare you do this to me? You can talk after everything I've done for you.
Oh,
You're
shit.
joking, I hope, right? I gave you my life. That's enough, Emma. Now that Louis is here, you will leave Sarah alone. Cease your revenge immediately. What? If you think you're going to... Louis, help me, I beg you. I can no longer reason with her. I am Emily. Quit playing games. What? Honestly, don't be ridiculous. No. I am Emily. You are wasting your time. Louis knows very well how to tell us apart. After everything we've been through together.
Yes, well...
Don't you dare bring him into this. This is between you and me. I ask for nothing more, so stop taking it out on Sarah. You prissy little bitch! How dare you!
Ooh,
now that
shit.
I've told you everything, you want to take my place, do you? You are joking, I hope. I'm the one who told you everything that's been going on while you were away. Go on then. That's what you want, isn't it? You want to kill me. Go on then, shoot! After all the trouble I've gone through to find you. Go on. What are you waiting for? Here, Louis, take this.
Wait, what's going...
An entire life for this. Go on, shoot! Sorry, Louis, I can't shoot her. She's my sister. That's enough, Emma. Louis, out of the way. She's dangerous. Don't trust her. What are you trying to do? Louis, out of the way. I am not Emma. Come on, Louis, tell her who the real Emily is.
Wait,
That's right, Louis. I'm fed up with this little game. Tell him who the real Emily is.
Why do these things always happen to me?
Well, Louis, come on, you know how to tell us apart, right?
Yes, but... I'd like to ask you a few questions to make sure there's no doubt.
Rational and open, Louis.
Let's see. How can I tell them apart? Wait, I've got an idea. On the night of our arrival...
Oh shit. Oh, fuck, I don't remember. Doesn't do no good if I don't fucking remember. Um... It does not do me any good.
On the wharf, something happened to me. What was it?
A malaise. The moment you arrived, you felt ill, and I offered to help while Piaggi went up. And you turned me down flat.
Right. Let's find something else. Ah, yes. Let's speak about my arrival at the manor.
On the night of our arrival, we were warming ourselves in front of the fire. Mortimer welcomed us in a certain way. What happened exactly?
Well played, Louis. Unfortunately, I'm not the one you should have asked that question to. Mortimer did not welcome us. It was Sir Gregory who welcomed us that night. Mortimer didn't show up until 2 days later. I know that as well.
Very well.
Let's try something else.
On the first night, we went up to bed, but I wasn't tired. I went for a little stroll. Do you remember if we saw each other that night or not?
Not at all. Don't think you're going to get away with this deception so easily. I can assure you, you're going to regret pretending to be me once Louis has exposed you.
Right. I don't think I'll get very far like this. I'll have to find something better.
Oh, I don't think I'll even wait until he's finished.
Take it easy now.
Are you mad, Louis?
Lower your arm.
I better act quickly if I don't want things to get out of hand.
Come on, she's putting one over on you. Look at yourself for crying out loud. You were prepared to shoot me down.
In the secret room behind the study. Talk to them about what you've been doing. Maybe they haven't spoken about it between each other yet.
On the night of the disappearance of Elizabeth Adams.
What about it? What do you want to know about that night?
We are going to use this. So I have more.
We found ourselves in Mortimer's secret gallery. What did we find in that room?
A load of old junk that Mortimer had collected. A so-called Pandora's box in the form of an urn. An old sheepskin that he must take for the Golden Fleece. The Bible of Judas. Property deeds as old as the hills. And a broken old sword. You are wasting your time, Louis. She already knows all that. Of course I do. I was there. That's enough! I've had enough of this charade. Louis, there's only one way to tell us apart. There's just one thing I didn't tell her about in detail. Too bad for you, Emma. I didn't want it to come to this, but you leave me no choice. Ask her about you and I. You just lost, Emma. I indeed didn't tell you everything about it. Come, Louis. Speak about our intimacy.
Very well. Let's talk about us. Last night, you came to me in my room. What exactly did we talk about?
We spoke briefly about your choices during the conference, Louis. What do you mean? Yes, Emma. It just so happens I didn't tell you everything. I never told you about this part. I hate you!
Ah!
That's enough, both of you. Now I know who the real Emily is.
You are Emily Hillsborough.
I knew you wouldn't get it wrong, Louis. No! You little bitch! Watch out, Louis! No!
Hell, what have I done?
See what you've done. See.
Louis? What on earth is going on?
Mother!
Go. You must leave. Everyone's going to arrive.
Louis, what's going on?
Duchess? Is everything all right?
Go! Go, Mother! No one must find you here.
Go.
Come, Louis. There's nothing more you can do.
But I...
Leave us.
Emily, what's going on?
Mother, go to the crypt. I'll meet you there.
I'll be waiting for you.
Emily.
Madam, I'm coming in.
It was bound to end like this, Louis. Let me stay with her, please. Go, I'll cover you.
What? What are you doing there? Stop!
God damn it. Now what's going on?
Do not like the fact that I wasted that many things.
Bicorn decorated with a cockade. It must belong to a French soldier. Good God! They're all here. They must have heard the gunshot.
Where is Lord Mortimer?
Can anyone hear anything through the door?
Did you hear that? I was not dreaming, was I?
Certainly not, Duke Godoy.
What's going on?
Someone had the bang coming from the Duchess's room. She isn't answering.
Gentlemen, go back to your rooms. Go back to your rooms. I shall find out from Lord Mortimer what this is all about. Thank you.
I need to get shit. Need more. Oh yeah. Do I really gotta walk the long way? God.
Louis! At last, there you are.
Mother, wait,
Come, we have to be quick.
No, wait, Mother,
Time is running out, Louis. First, we must...
No! That's enough. I won't go a step further unless you explain to me what is going on here. I'm begging you. Talk to me.
You must trust me, my son. You are not ready yet.
You're the one who should trust me. Tell me what's happening.
You would never believe me.
I came all the way here for you. Now I've found you. I'm ready, Mother.
If only... Louis, I have always taught you to keep your mind open and logical. I know you are going to find it hard to believe, but what I am going to reveal to you is entirely true. Many years ago, I found out that demons really do live among us.
I beg your pardon?
And that they can influence our thoughts.
Mother, listen to yourself. I know you're exhausted, but for crying out loud, listen to what you're saying. Demons? What next? An ancient monster with a head like an octopus? What do your demons look like? Have they got horns?
Cthulhu.
And a pointed tail?
No, these are not creatures with billy goat's legs. Forget your Christian folklore. Imagine them more as parasitic spirits. They possess their hosts and direct them from inside.
Parasitic spirits?
Yes, they are capable of going from one body to another as they see fit. And 2 of them are present on this island.
Right. So let me guess. Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory, right?
You felt it too?
No, even if Home does look the part. But I don't know who else could do it, given that we're on their territory.
Many years ago, well before you were born, I crossed paths with one of them. Since then, I've spent my life trying to find it again. When we recovered the Alizif, I was persuaded that von Burchard was working for this demon in one way or another. But I thought he would hand the book to a middleman during this conference. That's where I made an error that could well turn out to be fatal. The one who Burchard was meant to give the book to was none other than the demon in person, Mortimer. Not to mention that Home had sent Volner to get it for him.
Home and Mortimer are demons?
They both seem to disagree about many things, but I'll admit I never knew exactly why. There are many of them, Louis, not just those 2.
Mother, have you any proof to support any of this?
Of course, but you do too. You had everything laid out in front of you. Didn't you notice anything?
Well, those property deeds across the world, all signed by the same hand and over several centuries.
I am proud of you, Louis.
I found your notes written in lemon juice.
Where all eyes size you up. At one stage, I was so afraid of losing my mind that I noted everything down. Congratulations, Louis. Wait, please tell me you didn't open Pandora's box.
The urn? No, I didn't. Why?
Good. We'll deal with it later.
I came across his family tree in his study.
An only son.
Since the Third Crusade.
The fall of St. John of Acre, Louis. The fall of St. John of Acre.
I went beyond the Nightmare Mother.
You understood the Masonic date.
1191.
Of course! It was during that siege that the demon took possession of Sir Mortimer. They spent a whole night in conversation until the early hours of the morning. Mortimer had passed the test. He had charmed the demon, and so it chose him to be its host for centuries to come. But tell me, did you find his secret study?
I did indeed.
Did you see his maps of the world?
He has contacts the world over.
Yes, I've been developing the Golden Order across the world for many years, and I've never seen anyone with such influence. It's simply inhuman.
I must admit, I found it difficult to understand how and why Mortimer didn't have a place in history.
On the continent, Mortimer and Home are mere dandies who organize society balls. History forgets them with a disconcerting facility. No one speaks about them, and yet they whisper in the ears of kings and presidents.
You mean the conference?
How can you explain that someone manages to bring together so many important figures without anyone knowing?
And without any security or personnel.
Louis, I am proud of you. You came all this way. You found me. You have surpassed me.
You taught me everything I know. Right. How did it all begin?
I saw him.
What do you mean you saw him?
I was 20 years old. I was young and carefree. I traveled the world in search of adventure. In the Persian Gulf, we came across an ancient grimoire that became unlocked. Composed of 7 parts, each one was a book in itself, set in a sort of metal armor that structured the whole thing. When all the volumes were brought together, they formed a single book. On my return to Paris, I set to studying these pages. I spent all my days and nights studying them.
Oh, I can imagine you doing that.
But the writing was in a language I had never seen before, developed well before Sumerian, in my opinion. So I got the idea to form a small occult circle composed of all the major names in the occult world to see if anyone else could crack it.
And you found no one.
And I found someone, Louis. I found him, or rather he found me. He was young, charismatic, he was flamboyant.
You mean Mortimer?
He was a veritable mine of knowledge. I showed him the book, and he was able to decipher a few passages. We spent several months together studying the pages.
He was already old in those days, wasn't he? So you recognized him when you arrived on the island, right?
No, he wasn't in that body. But I know it was him. I swear it was him. The way he spoke, his posture, a few of his intonations, his mannerisms.
Wait a minute. You were talking about 60 years ago. I've lost the thread.
Yes, sorry. He helped me understand certain passages until I realized that he only translated a few parts for me. But I had aroused his interest. It was too late.
How so?
I mean to say he manipulated me. He used me, and in the end, he stole the book with all its secrets.
Did he ever go to your place?
Not once. At least I don't think so. But before disappearing, he proposed a pact between us. He proposed that I follow him and let him teach me, allow him to bring me up.
And you accepted?
Please don't be stupid. You don't make deals with the devil. After that, I spent my whole life looking for him. 3 years later, in Berlin, I just missed him. In London, I lost 6 members of the order in a chase. In 1741, in Tunisia, I found a sect of fanatics who had crossed paths with him once. 1741, in Poland. 1749, in India.
8 years ago in Venice.
We agreed never to speak about what happened in Venice, Louis.
You agreed, and that was before you spoke to me about demons. Wait, the baby we delivered, you and me, that night in Venice, did he have anything to do with Lord Mortimer?
The child was his son.
We stole his son? Are you insane? I always thought we took him to save him.
That was the case. It was precisely to save him from his father.
Need I remind you the mother died during childbirth? What became of the child?
Later. For the moment, that is not the key issue here. Once we found the Al-Azif in Paris, I followed von Borchart's trail here. I didn't think it would lead me straight to the demon. It was careless of me. He toyed with me for a few days, until I caught on, until I saw him as he was. But he had no intention of letting me leave. We are all his pawns, Louis, and if we don't want to spend the rest of our lives turning round in circles here, we must absolutely get off this island. All right, can we move on?
Wait a minute, one last thing.
Bum 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 bum.
I want to know what happened between you and Emily's sister.
Great responsibility often brings difficult choices, Louis. That's all you need to know.
Mother, I won't take a step further if you don't answer me.
You dare blackmail me?
I'm listening.
All right, I used her. So there you are. Happy now? We had the Al-Azif, and I didn't think we would be able to escape with it. In order to ensure that the book did not fall into their hands, or that one of them couldn't read in us where we had hidden it, I asked Emily
It's
to...
Emma.
Yes, or rather for me, it was Emily. So I asked Emma to hide it without anyone seeing, and then I disposed of her. I am sorry for her, but she was part of the Golden Order, Louis. She knew the rules when she joined.
What was going on with the cannons in Tuscany?
It was nothing.
Since when does the Order finance wars?
The cannons for that Bonaparte fellow? Listen, once in the lion's den, I did whatever I could to appear legitimate. So yes, I pretended to be interested in Mortimer's project about a young military man who was seeking funding for a foundry in Tuscany. Between you and me, if buying China would have enabled me to escape, I would have signed without hesitation.
Fair enough.
I want to know what happened with Elizabeth Adams.
Louis, we haven't time for those details.
I'm sorry, Mother, but I want to know.
She was one of the receptacles for these monsters. I met her parents when she was born. One of the demons got inside her. The demon used her to spy on her father, John Adams. He is one of the founding fathers and vice president of the United States, you know.
Mortimer possessed her?
No, I don't think it was Mortimer. Her father, John Adams, hired me to tend to her, but the evil in her was too deep. In spite of the various treatments I tried on her, I never succeeded in getting it out of her. It's not something I'm proud of, Louis, but I had to try everything.
Do you know who killed her?
Absolutely not.
What did you negotiate about the Al-Azif with Volner?
Absolutely nothing. I managed to pull the wool over his eyes until I found a way to flee.
Okay.
Samuel Ritter du Choix. You wanted to send me a letter about Godoy.
I wanted you to run a check on Duke Manuel, but frankly, it doesn't really matter anymore now. Godoy is just a pawn like the others. He is not the one I was looking for.
You know, I found your package under a wharf plank.
As a matter of fact, I needed it yesterday. I wasn't expecting anyone to take it.
On the evening of my arrival, Cardinal Piaggi came looking for you. He was determined to give you a letter.
More of his lists. Louis, I think I know what's in that letter, and I beseech you to believe that it is the least of our worries. We can sort that out later.
Are you going to tell me what happened to your hand?
Better than that, I shall show you.
No.
Good. I think that's about right. We shall speak about it once we get back to France.
Great actions for humanity have been decided by demons for centuries, Louis. They are playing with our destiny. We are their slaves. And it's time for it to stop. By the way, what was Mortimer's project at this conference?
He demands that the Spanish hand over Louisiana to France.
Oh, knowing him, it won't stop there. We should do our utmost to put a stop to Mortimer's plans. But for the time being, there are more pressing matters.
Are you going to tell me why we're here?
There. That's why we are here.
The fuck? Oh. Look, Bethesda.
Reassure me, we aren't going to have to force that one, are we?
I don't think we're even capable of doing it. You're going to have to find a way to open it.
Why, of course. And what's inside?
Something to vanquish them with?
Perfect. So, how does it open?
We'll need several keys. I found a note from the architect who conceived the mechanism in Mortimer's secret study. We have to first gather 6 objects before we try anything.
Are your 6 objects the keys?
Exactly. We have the Clement III cross, the nails, the Gutenberg Bible, the exegesis of Judas, an armillary sphere, and all we need to match up the dates between the different calendars.
Why a cross?
Well, I haven't the foggiest idea, but it just so happens that's what you are going to use to activate the mechanism. I found the one Mortimer kept. It belonged to Cardinal Guibert, better known by the name of Pope Clement III.
Perfect. Where is it?
Unfortunately, I've lost it. When I lost my hand, I went dashing out, and it must have fallen from my pocket.
Remember, Mother. I'm certain you can remember.
Let me think.
You were running.
I was bleeding to death.
You remember the pain.
I thought I was going to faint. Yes, I remember. I don't think it can be far, can it?
Would you have lost it outside?
No, I don't think so. It must be in the area. I don't remember going up with it.
Perfect. I'll search the crypt before leaving. Some nails?
Don't ask me. I'm not the one who made the mechanism, you know. When I arrived, there were already a few of them inserted, so I didn't have to worry about those. On the other hand, I remember seeing some in Mortimer's secret study, behind his nightmare.
In a golden cup? Yes. Yes, I saw them too.
Perfect. It will be easy for you to find them then. You need 3 of them.
Very well.
You remember what to do about the rollers. 1191 to enter, and 6466 to exit.
Of course. Exegesis. Anything else?
Did you manage to vanquish the Medusa?
To open the chimney? Yes, absolutely.
So you've already come across it. It's the Bible of Judas that is exposed in the secret room behind the chimney.
Why do they call it an exegesis?
Because that's what it is, and not an apocryphal Bible, strictly speaking. It's the study of a text with a summary, not an actual Bible. Anyway, well done for the Gorgon. You did well. You didn't get tricked by the light bouncing back.
Thanks. Do you think I can take it safely?
We haven't got a choice, Louis. Without it, we won't be able to work out this cursed mechanism.
There's one in the portrait gallery.
That's right.
You still believe it's in the tower room, don't you?
I don't know. There is only one way to find out, though.
Right. I shall go and see. There's one in the portrait gallery.
Yes, but it's enormous. If you don't want to have to go back and forth several times, then I suggest you get a smaller one.
What did you do then?
I didn't think I'd need one. I started without one, and I lost my hand before I did need one. And you can see the result.
What do you mean by the concordance of dates exactly?
Don't worry about that. We already have them. They are written on the back of the message I just gave you. One last thing before you go. Be very careful. If you come across anyone, they can all potentially be spies of Mortimer or Holm. Don't ever confide in anyone because a demon can slip inside them at any moment.
Wait, not all of them though. Take Washington.
Especially Washington. He's been conditioned by Mortimer for years. Look at them, for crying out loud. How do you explain their behavior otherwise? The most influential politicians in the Western world gather together without the least protection, without a single aid to assist them, to participate in a conference during which the guests start dropping like flies. Me, Adams, Peru, Hillsborough. Look at the number of calamities that have happened over the past few days. And not one of them has asked to leave the island? Do you find that normal? You'll see. Go up to the manor to look for the keys, and I wager not one of them will speak to you about my being in Emily's room.
Do you think so?
Go on, you'll see. And come back with all the objects in one go. Time is against us. And remember, the code to get out of the secret office is 6646.
Chinese coin, recognizable by the hole in the middle. If I remember rightly, that's called a cash. Famous cross of Claymont III.
Perfect. And one key found.
Carmelite water will give me a little reprieve.
We need to find more. Need to find more.
Golden elixir. I'll keep it for later. Right. It's definitely an armillary sphere, but I have to find one that I can take with me. Otherwise, I risk drawing too much attention to my Right. Let's see if the statues are in place yet. Devil's Thorn. I'll keep it. That statue is not positioned correctly.
Open sesame.
So that's the exegesis of Judas. I hope Mortimer doesn't read it very often. Otherwise, he's going to notice that someone's stolen it. But that's just too bad. I need it.
It's just too bad I need it.
Hey, Mortimer is the author of this work. It talks about his passion for art. Right. I've got what I need. Now let's not waste any more time.
much stuff to get. I think this is the tower. That's the tower right there. So, there we go. Aha.
Ah, Louis. Glad you're here.
Blasted. He's gonna talk about my mother.
Come and see what I've found. There are pieces of paper in the ashes of the chimney. Someone's been burning something here.
Incredible. He doesn't seem to want to speak to me about what happened between my mother and the Hillsborough sisters.
Show me a little.
Look, it's possible to distinguish two different writing styles.
The rest of the correspondence between my mother and Emma.
Someone tried to burn an exchange of messages. I'm certain. There must be more.
Shit. What on earth is he doing?
If you want my opinion, a servant must have burnt some old papers. That's all.
Why, of course. You very nearly made me think that you were trying to hide something, Louis. No, I'm sure there must be other hidden messages.
He won't let go. He's going to work his way back to the Bible if he continues.
Dante's Paradise.
Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays. A chest with the occult symbol representing air. The Bible's still there.
Hey, look, there.
No, I don't see anything.
Come, Louis, look. Someone's clearly drawn a 4 in the dust. I have a clue.
He's going to be disappointed when he sees the Bible's disappeared.
Dante's Paradise.
Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays.
Alright, let's go upstairs.
My dearest son, Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
Alright.
Right. This time, it'll be a lot quicker. If I remember rightly, the code was 1191. Of course. Weaknesses of the Human Psyche by Gilhelm Trimor. Gilhelm Trimor. Trimor. An anagram of Mortimer. Wow. Arrogant enough to publish writings on mental control in full view of everyone. I wonder who he's writing for. There. Those are the nails I was looking for. I noticed they were old and rusty, but I hadn't noticed these traces of... Could that be blood? Is it really the relic of the Holy Cross? I can hardly believe it. Feathers, pigeons probably. Carmelite water. It's locked. The conference might be focused on the United States, but Mortimer has an eye everywhere, which is not very reassuring if he really is a demon. A hand of tarot cards. The Emperor, a symbol of power and stability. Temperance, which expresses a reward. And the Chariot, now that evokes triumph. If this hand is anything to go by, Mortimer's destiny promises to be glorious. Mortimer's interested in black magic. A Van Leeuwenhoek microscope? The most sophisticated microscope there is. When I think of the difficulty the Order had in getting hold of one... All right, come on. Let's get out of here. 6466, if I remember correctly.
Alright. Where is the Armalite sphere?
Not too shocked.
I beg your pardon?
About Peru this morning. I asked you if you weren't too shocked by it all.
And yourself? Not too shook up?
The only thing that matters to me about that stupid man Peru is the disastrous situation in which it puts us for the conference vote. I wonder why Mortimer even allowed him to roam around the manor armed. He was a veritable public danger.
Indeed. You don't seem to be too affected. Tell me. I was wondering. You wouldn't know where to find an armillary sphere, would you?
Do you really think this is the right time? Oh, ask Volner. I am sure he will know. What with him being passionate about astronomy, you ought to get on fine together. Leave me now. I need to think of a solution.
I won't keep you any longer. See you later, monsieur.
du Richer. Congratulations for your efforts with Washington. I see that Sir Gregory did well to trust you. What can I do for you?
I'm dreaming. My mother was right. He's not going to tell me one word about what happened to Emily.
To tell you the truth, I'm in search of an armillary sphere. You wouldn't know where I can find it, would you?
Well, well. So you do have a passion for astronomy. Von Wollner has already bored me quite enough with all of his endless stories. You ought to concentrate, Louis. Politics is an art that requires all one's attention. Refrain from spreading yourself too thin, and leave stargazing to the poets.
What can I say? I'm only...
Ask Wollner. I am sure he must have it among his effects.
Perfect.
Thank you, my Lord Duke.
Leave me now.
See you later.
An armillary sphere. Perfect. That will save me some time. I only hope that he isn't going to realize it right away. The alchemist is a young man.
So, good. You've managed to gather all the keys.
Yes, that's right. I have everything. What should I start with?
Place the Clement III cross on the console. Then you have to put the nails on the disc of the door.
What hole should I put the nails in?
Well, I can't really advise you there, because I haven't exactly made the best choices myself. All I can say is that you have to insert 1 to choose a town, 1 to choose a chapter, and 1 to choose a verse. Those are Roman numerals on the disc.
What theme did you start with?
As the fresco shows the birth of Christ, I placed 1 nail in Bethlehem, 1 in chapter 2, and 1 in verse 6. The iris opened a little. I thought it was normal. Behind the aperture of the iris, there is a duct in which I put my hand. I felt something like a valve at the bottom. I thought by turning it the door would open, or the iris would open completely, or something else would happen. Instead, I felt something like an axe cut off my hand. I really thought it was the end of me.
What did you do then?
Well, although I had made some unfortunate choices, I was lucky in that Mortimer was well stocked with drugs. I raided his supplies of medicine.
All right, my turn now.
Go ahead, impress me. I'll shut up and let you concentrate.
Please do.
This exegesis contains comments from Judas on the different Gospels. It only contains certain chapters and verses, and the chapters are indicated by Roman numerals. The lexicon refers to different chapters and verses from the exegesis of Judas. Chapter 1, verse 9. Jesus was baptized by John in Jordan on the 9th of Hesvan, 3852. Chapter 1, verse 9. And it came to pass in those days that Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee, and was baptized by John in Jordan. And coming up out of the water, he saw the heavens opened, and the Spirit like a dove descending upon him. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and 2 others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst. Chapter 5, verse 2. Jesus cures the sick and lame on the 8th of Adar, 3791, in Jerusalem, at the pool of Bethesda. All stand and fling away their canes. Chapter 5, verse 2. Now, there is at Jerusalem, by the sheep market, a pool, which is called, in the Hebrew tongue, Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of impotent folk, of the blind, halting, and withered, waiting for the moving of the water. Jesus saith unto him, Rise, take up thy bed, and walk. And immediately the man was made whole, and took up his bed and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath.
Wait, what?
Chapter 5, verse 2. Jesus cures the sick and lame on the 8th of Adar, 3791, in Jerusalem, at the pool of Bethesda. All stand and fling away their canes. The fresco clearly shows the birth of Christ.
Louis, I can assure you that that is not the solution to this enigma. This fresco's only purpose is to mislead. I know that now. Please, focus on another theme about Christ.
We'll have to trust her. Yes, it's definitely a representation of the birth of Christ, but some of the details have flaked away. I can't see any other clues. One thing is for sure, this enigma deals with the life of Jesus, like my mother said. If Mortimer deliberately set a trap by showing the birth of Christ, then maybe the solution is the contrary. The death of Christ in that case? It looks like there are 3 types of inscriptions. Clearly, we have names of towns, Arabian numerals, and Roman numerals. There are 3 styles of writing, and I've got 3 nails. There must be a link. I must surely put in 1 nail per category. These towns have one thing in common. They're all related to the life and death of Jesus. For example, Jordan is the place of the baptism of Christ. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and 2 others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and 2 others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst.
It works. Well done, Louis. I hadn't seen those other wheels. Try connecting the theme to see if it goes all the way.
There must surely be a connection between the wheels. This wheel contains several symbols made up of 1 or 2 figures and 1 letter. The highest figure does not exceed 31, and each letter corresponds to a month of the year. A for April, and M for March. I think these symbols must represent a specific date. There are different icons on this wheel, but it looks like some of them can't. Now, given the difference between the number of icons and the number of towns, I think that only one path connects all the wheels with one another. Let's try to connect the theme I've chosen with the rest. I think I can make out each one of the icons apart from the one covered in blood. Going clockwise from the one I just mentioned, we have the halo that represents the resurrection. The waves represent the baptism of Jesus. It's more difficult to identify the next one. Maybe a crib, and in that case it's surely linked to the birth of Christ. The red herring that my mother followed. Then, the symbol represents the crown of thorns that Jesus wore during his crucifixion. The dove also represents the baptism. Certainly another red herring.
Then comes the symbol of the Trinity. And finally, the candle that must stand for the Last Supper.
This wheel represents the different moons. In the occult sciences, we represent the full moon by an X. As for the dark moon, called the new moon, in cults, it's often associated with something harmful. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Thirteenth of Shaban, 607, waxing gibbous. Thirteenth of Shaban, 607, waxing gibbous. The moon's shadow moves from west to east.
During new moon, the moon is entirely in the shadow. Then, the shadow moves from west to east, meaning left to right, and goes through the following states: waxing crescents, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, last quarter, waning crescent, and the cycle starts over with the full shadowed new moon. Let's see what combination corresponds to the chosen theme. According to the architect's notes in the armillary sphere, the moon during the crucifixion was a first quarter. That's the one with its left half in the light. see what combination corresponds to the chosen theme. To follow the crucifixion theme, I should select the crown of thorns. By following the clues in the Bibles and the architect's notes, the crucifixion took place on the 8th of Nisan 3793, according to the astronomers of that time. That would correspond to March 26th in the year 33 on a modern calendar.
Look at this. There are notches between each of the wheels. So, I have to link the name of the town from the theme I've chosen to an icon, then to a date, and finally, the date to the moon.
I can feel the lever at the bottom.
Good luck.
Well, I think I cut my arm off. Not sure yet. Guess we'll find out. Get in there.